Hello, and welcome to this video from the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, all about stormwater runoff. After this video is over, we hope that you will have a better understanding of what stormwater runoff is and how it impacts you and your neighborhood. This neighborhood, which we'll call Water Street, includes the houses, their lawns, the businesses, the streets, parking lots, the people that live here, along with the river, which we've simulated with glass beads, and the pond, which that river drains into. This greenhouse is owned by a family. They have dogs, as well as a very large backyard, which they like to keep manicured and green. And it is also right next to the river. The family that lives in this beige house has a small greenhouse, and in the summertime, they like to have a large garden in their backyard, right next to the river. This is the neighborhood garage. Business is booming, so much so that they've run out of space inside of the garage, and they've taken to storing some of their parts and materials out back behind the garage. This is the manufacturing plant. It was built over 100 years ago along the side of the river because it used to use the water from the river to run its boilers. It doesn't need the water today, but it's still located on the edge of the river, along with a very large parking lot for all the employees. This is the local farm. They have horses and pigs. It's a popular attraction with the children, and it's been here for a very long time. This is the busiest place in town, the Water Street Market. It's always busy throughout the day. Cars come, cars go. Everyone who lives here does their shopping here at least once a week. This is the town pond. People come here to swim, canoe, kayak, and fish. See how clear the water is? Green spaces, such as lawns and forests, can soak up the rain and filter out some of the pollution. But the closer the rain falls to the river, the less chance it has to filter out that pollution. Remember those horses and pigs at the farm? Well, they eat a lot of food, and anything that eats a lot of food is going to produce a lot of waste. And sometimes that manure gets piled pretty high. Those bountiful vegetable gardens and lush green lawns require fertilizers, chemical additives, and pesticides to be sprayed on them. And that doesn't just disappear, it sits on the lawn for quite some time. Remember our neighborhood garage and how they were running out of space and had to start storing some of their parts and materials out back behind the garage? Well, some of those parts are old and used and dirty. They contain grease and oil and other chemicals. Remember the manufacturing plant? They receive a lot of deliveries of raw materials, and they ship a lot of products. They also have a lot of employees that drive there and park in the parking lot all day. Sometimes those vehicles leak oil or gas or antifreeze. Sometimes there might be an accident on the manufacturing floor or a chemical spill. All of the litter, bags, cigarette butts that are crushed out and left in the parking lot at the market begin to flow down the street and into the river. Here comes that well-needed rain. The pond has begun to look a little cloudy. It's not too bad yet, but we'll come back and check on it later. pond has begun to look a little worse. Think of all the things that must be running into the pond right now from the river. Litter, plastic, garbage, oil and gas residue, pesticides from people's lawns, fertilizers from the gardens, manure and pet waste, and if it's wintertime, you've also got salt and sand coming from the roads. The litter and trash that has made its way into the pond can affect wildlife, and it can make the pond look pretty bad. Pesticides, gas, and oil leaks from cars, they can poison the animals that live in and around the river and pond. They can also poison us if we eat the fish or shellfish in those areas. But worst of all is the fertilizers and the manure. They can feed dangerous bacteria and algae that can kill off all the other plants and animals, and sometimes kill everything in the pond. So what can we do to make this situation better? For starters, let's keep green spaces green as much as possible. Pavement, such as sidewalks, streets, and parking lots, helps pollution get to water sources much faster. You can also fix leaky vehicles and leaky oil tanks immediately as soon as you spot the problem, and don't store chemicals or dirty engine parts outside. If you must use pesticides or fertilizers, use as little as possible. Maybe speak to a local farm to see if you can use some of their manure as a natural fertilizer. Odds are they've got tons of it. There are two things that you can start doing at home almost right away. The first is to build a rain garden. Why not build a garden where the water naturally flows? This will collect some of that stormwater and put it to good use. The second is to install rain barrels. This will collect rain from your rooftop, and you can use it to water your flowers, water your lawn, or clean your car. This prevents it from carrying pollution during a rainstorm. It'll also save water from your hose. If you want to learn more about stormwater, head on over to the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services webpage, where you can learn to soak up the rain.